Hey guys, super excited for this video. In this video, I'm showing you guys 5 books that transformed my life. These books have shaped my mind and allowed me to see things in a completely different perspective. I will share with you guys the biggest takeaways that I got from these books and how they can impact your life. We're gonna be switching it up a little bit today. I'm not gonna just be talking to the camera like this. Instead, I'll take you guys on a quick workout, and hopefully that makes it a little bit more dynamic and more entertaining. These books are going to sharpen your vision, expand your mind as to what is possible for you to achieve financially, and also give you the push you need in order to find success. I truly owe a lot of my success to these books, so I'm super excited to share them with you guys. Woo! All right, pre-workout done. Let's get this workout started and let's go over these 5 amazing books. Alright, so the first book on my list is The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. This book is one of the most transformational reads I've ever done. It's extremely easy to read and it's going to have a lot of actionable tips for you guys. The main objective with this book is to give you 6 things to do in the morning, and they call this savers. S stands for silence, and this is basically just meditation for more clarity of mind. A stands for affirmations, and this is basically the law of attraction. Whenever we say things that we want, we put these into words and speak them out loud. This brings those things towards us. V stands for visualizations, and this is a mental simulation of your day ahead of you. It makes you less likely to react to things and have a more pre-drawn day. E stands for exercise, which is what I'm doing right now, getting in 30 minutes to an hour of exercise each and every day. R stands for reading, so reading books like this and other self-improvement books. If you read 10 pages per day, that's 3,650 pages per year. That's a lot of information, a lot of guidance and insight, and it will help you out a ton. And finally, S stands for scribing, basically writing down your thoughts. And basically what this does is it captures all your thoughts bouncing around your head and captures them on a piece of paper. This makes it a lot easier to hold yourself accountable to the things that you want to do. This book also really stresses the fact that there are things you can control in life and also things that you can't control. The morning is a time of our day that we can completely control. So if you can control the mornings, that means you can control the rest of your day. And basically it just snowballs. As you say you'll do these habits and these things in the morning and you actually do them, this is going to increase your confidence in yourself. So going back to things that we can and can't control. For example, things we can't control are the stock market. We can't say if that's going to go up or down, right? But what we can control are our mornings as well as our responses to things in life. After I read this book, I immediately created a morning routine that worked for myself and started doing this. I started doing this about 1 year ago, and in that year, my life has completely changed. Reading this book will give you more confidence in actually having a morning routine and following through with it. This book holds you accountable, and it tells you exactly why you need a morning routine and why so many successful people have a morning routine. Okay, it's way too loud over there, so I've come here to film this section. And the next book on my list is The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. The Compound Effect is the strategy of reaping huge benefits and gains from small and seemingly insignificant actions. This book really stresses that everything in your life is a choice. And what happens is these choices lead to habits, and then these habits lead to momentum, which create all the success in your life. Now, the unfortunate thing is that this can go both ways. So if you make bad choices, this means that you're gonna have bad habits, and therefore that's gonna lead to bad momentum. So a quote from Bill Gates, which I especially love, is most people overestimate what they can do in 1 year, but they underestimate what they can do in 10 years. And to better understand this, you need to look at the trajectory of any entrepreneur. At the very beginning, it's gonna be very slow and flat, but at a certain tipping point, that's when you see all the exponential growth that comes with all those years of slow growth. If you compare this exponential graph to a linear graph, which is what most people think entrepreneurship will look like, you'll see that yes, at 1 year, the linear graph, which people think is going to happen, is much higher than the exponential graph. But at 10 years, the exponential graph is going to be much higher than the linear graph. So any entrepreneur that's just starting out needs to think of the growth like this. Another really important thing that they talk about in this book is the magic penny. And the scenario is this: would you rather have $3 million today with it not changing at all? Or would you rather have 1 penny and have that double every single day for the next 31 days? After 31 days, the person that took the penny would have almost $11 million. So it just shows the importance of compounding effects and how if you start with something that's seemingly so small, it can grow bigger than your wildest dreams. The compound effect stresses the fact that there is no overnight success. The story is if you keep doing these small habits, you might not see changes for the first few months, the first year, or even 2 years. But in doing so, you are building traction, and later on, you are guaranteed to see the benefits and all that growth that comes with these small habits. Alright, so next up on my list is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. So there are different versions of this book. I've read both the original as well as the digital age one. It doesn't really matter which one you pick up. And this is a book that helped me with building relationships. As an entrepreneur, you'll find that a lot of your net worth and a lot of your skills and influence and everything comes from the people that you know. And that's why it's so important to build a healthy network of people that you can have insight from, learn from, and just interact with. I'm gonna go over some of the more interesting takeaways I got from this book. So one is you have to be genuinely interested in other people. By doing so, they will be genuinely interested in yourself. And that's how you build long-lasting, impactful relationships. This book also really encourages you to smile, because a smile is one of the best things that you can give another person. It's a lot of things that, you know, if you think about, it makes a lot of sense, but we just don't think about these on a day-to-day basis when we're trying to make friends. Another very impactful tip is to remember people's names. The moment you say someone's name, they are going to be instantly more attracted and feel a bigger connection to yourself. Yes, it is hard to remember people's names sometimes, but they do give you some good strategies on how to do so. Another thing that's very important is to let people talk about themselves. Don't speak too much for yourself and let other people do the talking. In doing so, you're making the other person feel more important, which is always a good thing. And some people think this is like weird and like gaming the system, but I think of it as just being a good friend, listening to other people. And another thing is never tell someone that they're wrong. And if you're wrong yourself, admit it as soon as you can and really mean what you say. The worst thing that you can do is have a fake apology and not seem genuine. That's not what you want. If you think about it, we're really not taught in school how to be a good conversationalist. We don't learn how to make friends. We don't learn how to make other people like ourselves. And in the real world, that is just so important. Since reading this book, it's given me a whole new outlook on what I need to act like, how I need to be around other people. And don't think of it as just changing your whole personality. You want to come off as yourself, but you also want to be able to position yourself in a way that makes other people like you. Relationships are the key thing to happiness in any life. We always think, yes, we want money and all that stuff, but if you think about it, would you rather have no money and all the best relationships in the world, or would you have all the money but no relationships in the world? Obviously, I think for most people, they'd rather have the relationships, and it's not like it's one or the other. We want to have a mix, but it just shows the importance that relationships have in our lives. This book does have bite-sized anecdotes all throughout the book, and that makes all the lessons really engaging and very understandable. So guys, if you're looking to pick up a book that will help you build your net worth, build your friends, build your relationships, definitely check this book out. All right, got my shake, and now it's time to get into my fourth book, which is Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. This is one of those books that a lot of people read early on, and my dad actually made me read this when I was like, I don't know, 15 years old. And this book will completely change your mindset on money and building wealth. Robert Kiyosaki basically tells the story of all the lessons he learned from his poor dad, aka his biological father, as well as the lessons he learned from his rich dad, aka his friend's father. This book goes through a lot of things about personal finance that are not taught in school. Here's some really interesting tidbits that I got from this book. One, it's not about how much money you make, it's about how much money you save and how much money you can actually put into building your assets. Another very interesting part about this book is how he talks about taxes. Basically, corporations versus employees, and why employees just get screwed with taxes. How it works is corporations earn money, they spend money, and then they're taxed on the remaining amount. Note that the spending is before the tax. However, for an employee, they earn money and then they're taxed on it. There's literally no spending. That's why a big part about building wealth is taking advantage of all these tax advantages that come with building a business or investing in assets. Robert Kiyosaki says that rich people acquire assets while poor people acquire liabilities. Assets put money into your pocket, whereas liabilities take money out of your pocket. And like I said before, this book highlights the importance of financial literacy. He says intelligence solves problems and produces money. Money without financial intelligence is Money Soon Gone. Reading this book made me realize that I don't want to spend the rest of my life chasing money. I don't want to keep trading my time for money. And that's why I want to go the entrepreneur route. In this case, you're able to build a product or a service or anything which makes you money while you sleep. And that's why for me, building multiple streams of income, some active, some passive, it's how I'm structuring my life and ultimately how I want to be able to create wealth for myself in the future. Becoming a doctor and working the rest of your life is not being rich. That's what he says. And it's really true. While you can make a lot of money as a doctor and in all these other careers, you're essentially trading your time for money for the rest of your life. This book really changes your mindset on what money is and how you can create wealth. So guys, definitely check this book out. You will get a ton of value out of it and it's gonna completely transform your mindset. I mean, that's why it's one of the most popular personal finance books of all time. Okay, next up on my list is The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. I think a lot of the time for entrepreneurs, we like to second guess ourselves. As we're building good habits and we don't see anything changing in our lives too drastically, we tend to second guess what we're doing and if it's actually making a difference. This book is a little bit similar to The Compound Effect in that it tells us that all these small actions are doing a lot for us. We might not see it right now, we might not see it for the next 6 months or a year, but later on in the future, we will see all these actions come together and give us massive amounts of success. One of the things that really stood out for me in this book is if something is easy to do, it's also very easy not to do. Reading 10 pages of a book per day is pretty easy to do, but that also means it's pretty easy not to do. Putting on your running shoes and going out for a run in itself is not a hard thing to do, but it's also just as easy to not do it. And the thing is, if you don't do these actions, you won't see any negative consequences, at least for the short term. For example, if you don't eat healthy for the next few months, you probably won't see too much of a difference. But I guarantee you over 5 years or 10 years, you're going to see some drastic changes to your health and to your body. This book shows us that it's not the major life choices that change our lives. Instead, it's all these small choices repeated over and over that give us success. I would say that this book, The Slight Edge, and The Compound Effect, which I went over before, have a lot of the same fundamental ideas. You don't necessarily have to read both of them, but I like to reread books and I like to get a different author's take on the same fundamental topics. That's why it was very helpful for me to first read The Compound Effect and then read The Slight Edge. So guys, those are 5 books that have completely changed my life. I believe that a combination of any of these books in any order will help you grow massively. The reason I'm so adamant about you guys checking out these books is because I saw for myself how much of a difference it made on my life. And to be honest, we're all similar, you guys. Like, if these books have such a big impact on myself, I know that they're gonna have such a big impact on you as well. These books are all easy to read, pretty cheap, and I guarantee you it's gonna be one of the best investments in yourself you could ever make. So with $50 to $100, you can get all these effects, you can get all this knowledge, all this insight, all these actionable tips that will propel you to success. Incorporate reading into your day-to-day activities, and I guarantee you, you are going to make huge improvements in your life, and you're gonna have such a better mindset, way of thinking, and the belief that you can actually become more successful than you ever would have thought. In the end, books just change your mindset. They give you the tools you need and the confidence you need in order to become the best version of yourself possible. So I really hope you guys found this video useful. Let me know in the comments what other books you guys really have enjoyed reading, and I'll definitely make sure to check them out as well. It doesn't matter how old you are, how experienced you are, how many businesses you've built. If we stop learning, then we stop growing, and that's one of the most dangerous things to ever happen in life. I'll leave a link to each of these books in the description below, so feel free to check them out. And like always, make sure to like and subscribe if you guys found this video helpful at all. I make a ton of videos about personal finance, investing, and entrepreneurship on my channel. So if you're not yet subscribed, make sure to hit that subscribe button and click that notification bell. We're building an awesome community full of go-getters, full of hustlers, full of people that want to achieve massive success. So I would love for you guys to join. Anyways, that's it for today. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.